see who pops in. One more thing. Right, so we're live. I bet don't say fuck or bugger.
Well, not say fuck or bugger.
Yeah.
And not simulcasting because I'm still on the naughty step according to Google. How's it noted that you've got a terrorist on your channel?
Yeah. You definitely don't say what that person said because Elon Musk bought Twitter.
Oh, no, that's it too. Yeah. So, I for one am looking forward to losing my Twitter account when we all get asked to verify who we are, and I say no, fuck off. Don't you understand that? Here's the thing, right? I'm not sure if other people are aware of this, but there used to be a time when you were told never tell anybody your identity on the internet.
Yeah.
And that rule, I think, in the past 15 years has just gone out the window.
Yeah. No, you're a child. Tell everybody how old you are.
Well, I was going to say, especially, it's like if the Jimmy Saviles of the world need to know where you are, your age, and your sex.
Don't you understand, Hobbit? It's all perfectly normal.
Yeah.
Well, you some sort of weirdo, are you, Hobbit?
Do you know there was this headline and it was screwing up with my head, and it was about the recent thing in Florida where there's you can't teach your 5-year-old children about gaying or sex. You should be teaching them how to read, write, and do maths.
Disney are up in arms, weren't they?
Well, yeah, and then the teacher's saying, "Well, we're just not educate your kids anymore." And the parents have been like, "Good, we don't want you educating them on your favourite dildo to use." Again, read, write, arithmetic, the 3 R's.
Yeah, do that. The 3 R's.
Yeah.
That is quite funny though, isn't it? The 3 R's.
Do you know what? Speaking of the 3 R's, that may be I'm not going to mention their name, but there's a retailer which does to-the-door delivery, which I'm trying to apply for at the moment because, their online driving assessment's not loading, and I've tried it in various browsers, and it won't work. And I've tried emailing them and saying, well, look, I am a qualified lorry driver, so I think I know how to drive your Luton van. Not saying in an arrogant way. I'm saying, look, I'll be happy to do any driving assessment, but your website's not loading. Maybe if educators, as they call themselves, spent more time teaching people the value of properly coded websites, and not just you can express.
You can be anything you want to be, even a coder if you're ill equipped to do so.
Yeah, intelligent at any IQ size.
Yeah.
Yeah. Speaking of which, I'm going to write that in email. I hold a Class 2 lorry driving license and a current DVQ card.
Is this Star Wars? Is this Star Wars? Yeah, it's Star Wars. I'll be getting my lightsaber out in a minute.
Yeah, pew
pew pew pew pew.
No simul. Oh, I said that bit. But there is Odyssey, and I do have an Odyssey channel. I suspect people know that already.
I can't find the live streaming bit.
Yeah.
If you speak to JMK, will let you use his channel, won't he?
Well, that's the thing. Yeah, Chippy Clips Tits. Chippy Tits Clips. I've been live streaming there, but I don't know how to use YouTube Downloader. And I suppose what I should be doing on OBS is recording what I'm doing whilst I'm playing it. Yeah, maybe that's what I'll do. Maybe I'll live stream to his channel, record it, and then upload the thing to Odyssey, because I like the audience interaction. I do. It's a lot of fun.
You ever played Dead Space, Hobbit?
No, I've watched you play it. It kind of reminds me of Mass Effect, but more gory and more horror.
Yeah, it's kind of like the main character. His name is Isaac Clarke, so I'm sure you can guess which two science fiction writers it's an amalgam of.
Speaking of which, I just finished listening to a book by not Isaac Asimov, the other one, Arthur C. Clarke. Yeah, it was what was it called?
You're not one of the 2001s, was it?
No, it was one about humanity had a galactic or a universal empire, and then they retreated back to Earth, and for the past billion years they've been living on Earth, which is now a desert planet, except for one city called Diaspar, and there's a guy in it who's a unique called Alvin.
Chippy Tits Clips wants you to know, Hobbit. He says, I recorded a video today, I might upload it. I'm calling out Stephen J. James and Dual Citizen and exposing them for working for the deep state.
Yeah, I wonder what happened. I remember those two, and then they seem to like just go away.
Well, Dual Citizen was a Mark Collett stan, weren't he?
I see. Okay.
I've forgotten how to run. How do you run in this? Oh yeah, found it.
But yeah, and then it just follows this unique who, because all the other humans which are grown in the city, because they're all just like 3D printed.
Yeah.
Or nano-lathed. Because 3D printing's the current term for it.
Yeah.
But anyway, they're all like machine made, and they've all got like an inbuilt programming, so they're scared of the outside and the unknown, and that way they just stay to the city.
It sounds like a certain other science fiction book, Logan's Run.
Oh yeah. And so Alvin, he decides to go out and finds there's this underground transport network which is still working. Did he write it
25% different from Logan's Run, and that's how he got away with it?
Probably. And then he finds that there are humans alive in other places. Well, there's no child sex orgies in this Arthur C. Clarke one, whereas there was in Logan's Run.
Yeah, and they look like child sex havers as well, the people that wrote it, don't they?
Yeah. But yeah, so they go there, and then he goes out into space, and he sees like a few like deserted planets, and then he goes back to Earth to Diaspar. And,
well, actually, in the later Logan's Run novels, they do go into space. I think they go to Mars. I think
there's a sequel.
Yeah. It's a book series apparently.
Oh, okay, all right. Well, I was bored with the film, so I don't particularly want to read the books. But yeah, so they go. He goes into space, and then he comes back, and then he finds this ancient robot who tells them like the true history, because humans in Diaspora have got a lot of the history wrong.
Yeah.
And then there's a reconciliation between the other settlement, which is called Lys, and Diaspora, over the future of humanity and possibly going into the stars, maybe. I mean, it's all right, but I've read a lot of science fiction. I mean, I know other genres are available. I used to really be into Roman fiction, or sort of semi-fictitious stuff, like based on battles, but then with a lot of personal stuff, just like made up as you go along. But I really like science fiction, I think, because it shows like a future that could be, which is better than what we got now, and something we should be striving towards and building. Whereas science fiction now is just depressing, because unfortunately the authors, I think they're saying just about being creative, where you're open to the zeitgeist. Like, I
miss good science fiction. Remember when good science fiction they were libtards, but like there was like, was that libtardy or not? I'm not quite sure. Rather than just bang 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 over the top of the head with the libtard message.
Well, people keep telling me Star Trek's like commie global homo bullshit.
Well, it is really, isn't it? It's like, oh no, we shouldn't be. Might isn't right.
put it this way, yeah, I do get annoyed with the hypocrisy where they're just like, oh, we're peaceful explorers. Like, why have you got an armed ship? And
why have you killed? Why have you killed more people than Mao Zedong?
The great thing about like them saying like, oh, we're peaceful explorers, is like, how come you get into like you've seen more combat than like most navies, including like,
you've seen more combat than two power in Afghanistan.
I'm just thinking like the only people that probably see more combat than your average Starfleet crew would be like the Age of Sail Royal Navy, or maybe some pirates. But apart from that, like the Starfleet is like they've got a high kill to death ratio. They do it, but anyway,
I don't know. They always lost a few red shirts, didn't they?
Yeah, well, the red shirts were born for
just had it coming, didn't they? Do you think red shirts are cloned? I think someone should retcon red shirts that they're cloned.
I think they just like I would sort of like put it's like make it mythical and say the red shirts are a sacrifice to the space gods so that the warp engines are appeased. You need the warp engines need to be run with the blood of red shirts, otherwise you won't be able to go faster than light. Yeah, that will do. That's how I'm going to retcon it.
Yeah.
But yeah, the point bit. Oh, okay. You're just going to drill into the walls, are you? Thanks, neighbours. The point I was going to say about creativity is creatives are sensitive. They pick up on what's going on, even if it's unconsciously. That's why we got all this predictive programming that 9/11 was going to happen. I don't think it was because, like, government men were going to these various artists and saying, hey, you should put on your album cover the two towers and like a plane.
I don't know. I don't know whether there's like I think there's like a global kind of, for want of a better word, ether net.
Well, yeah, and that is also called the Akashic Record.
Yeah.
So I'm saying that sensitive, creative types, they pick
Did the
up on
Akashic
stuff.
Record have that album cover with the two twin towers on it?
Yeah, and it also had the poster of like Bart Simpson holding up the poster of the two towers saying 9/11.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what it is with the creatives is they pick up on this stuff unconsciously through the ether or Akashic Record, and they do it. So that's why in the 70s, all the science fiction was really depressing, and I think probably one of the most interesting science fiction stories of the 70s.
What's Stephen J. James done to upset JMK?
I don't know, but I'm going to be very interested to watch his video on it because I'm
You remember Stephen J. James? Don't you? He was the one. My nan's a huge fan of. No White Guilt, weren't it?
All right.
Yeah.
And I do remember all the others as well. And we were talking about a special JDLE episode where we get all these special guests onto the show they said,
I tell you, it did make me laugh about Truth. Speaking of those kind of people, what made me laugh about Truth Angel was he became like an amalgam of Simon Crims, and there was a bit of Capstan in there as well. What are you doing? What are you doing for the white race?
What are you doing for the moobsment?
Yeah, the moobs. What are you doing for the moobsment?
Yeah, where are your moobs in this fight?
Yeah.
All that stuff happens, and back to the science fiction. I reckon the most interesting science fiction in the 70s was a short story called Visitors, which was the inspiration for Stalker. I mean, a lot of people say, "Oh, it's Anthony."
Do you know what the most cringe science fiction story ever was?
There's quite a few.
The Streets of Ashkelon. The Streets of Ashkelon. Nothing beats it for cringe. That's mega cringe.
Sunshine by Danny Boyle counts as science fiction.
Does it?
So it's Sunshine. The whole purpose behind that film, I'm convinced, is to make the core seem plausible in comparison.
It's to make you realise that Event Horizon is pure Kino. I think that's the purpose of it.
Yeah. I mean, that I want to say goes without saying. But
are you a fan of Event Horizon?
Me?
I always thought Event Horizon was half of a good film.
From what I saw, I really liked it, and yes, I know there was a lot of missing film, but I think it perfectly told the story.
It's going to be missing forever, isn't it? Because it got destroyed, recorded over, or I don't know, whatever they do to film stock. Because it has silver in it, so silver nitrate in it, does it? Film stock?
Cellulose can spontaneously combust, and
but it's quite expensive for some reason, isn't it? That's why.
Yeah, I'm not sure. So I will say.
I always thought it was something like silver nitrate or something. Oh, go on.
I will say what the chat's saying, but
The
first of
ZQ.
all, just to say that Stalker, as it's called, the game is based on a short story called Visitors, where it's just aliens land to Earth and they're having a picnic and they chuck out junk, and then the humans which come in and explore it think they're incredible artifacts. And the Soviet government had it censored pretty much until the fall of the Soviet thing in 1991.
I'll tell you, it's a play on that. You ever seen a film called Explorers? It's got Corey Feldman, River Phoenix.
Yes, I have.
That's quite funny at the end, isn't it? When you find out it's the kids.
Yeah, that's a similar theme to Visitors, actually.
Yeah.
So yeah, the Soviet government kept censoring it because they're like, we think this is a criticism of our glorious government, and
it sounds like a criticism of capitalism, to be honest.
Do you know what the Soviet government remind me of? They remind me of Phil. Like, oh yeah, this is a really good way to govern people, but can't take mild criticism.
Yeah.
Even when the criticism's not there, but they've imagined it. Phil, that's no offense to you. Well, I'm just saying, like, social credit systems and the Soviet government, maybe that like works for the Russians. Which
social credit systems are fine, but you can't have people like David Lammy anywhere near one.
I mean, in a sense, we do have a social credit system. Like, we've got credit scores, and if you say the gamer word on Twitter, say like, restrain
or
yourself
YouTube
there,
or anything,
yeah, then you get shit canned. So we do have a social credit system. So address the ZQ. Jenny.
Right, what happened? Zebedee and Honeybee had a row last night.
Oh, okay. Well, so
I haven't actually read most of it.
Oh, right, and because I saw Honeybee left the chat, and I just thought, she's upset that she's not getting her way.
Yeah.
It's not the first time this has happened as well. It's just like,
well, you see, JMK's got his JMK's got his little shield out, hasn't he? Because it's his bird.
Oh yeah. Oh, fair enough.
Yeah.
Well, I've simped for women in the past. Not that it's got me a crumb of pussy though. But I just. You get someone that comes into the group and then they want to go and change things, and generally, has that happened with men? Like, as Capstone said, oh, we should be doing things differently, or Sojo. Well, Sojo didn't really say anything to us; he was too contemptuous. But
yeah, wait, he wasn't even contemptuous. He was just passive aggressive, weren't he?
Yeah, Iron Duke, I think he was. Well, he wasn't trying to say you should be doing this. I think he was trying to lead by example. It's like we should do a 12-hour stream on Agincourt for some reason.
Which I did him, and then he immediately afterwards said, "Oh, I'd rather be with Brutus because obviously he wouldn't give me a 12-hour stream on Agincourt and back me up all the way. So obviously he's the man to follow."
Yeah. But with women, like this isn't the first incident of it happening where a woman has come in and said, "I disagree with the status quo," and we're like, "Okay," and then the waterworks start happening. It's like,
yeah,
what's that supposed to do? Well, I'm crying now. You should feel sympathy for me and change your status quo.
Yeah, you were wrong because I'm crying.
I'm happy with the status quo. Yes, but I'm crying and that hurts my feelings. Okay, then. Don't you care? Yes, I do, because you're making me uncomfortable. Please go away. Go be a crybaby somewhere
Go,
else.
go cross it somewhere else. Yeah.
It's basically what I'm saying. Uh, no, I'm not. I'm not saying I'm speaking for all of us. You're free to disagree with me, Hemi, but
No. Manipulative tears are not. Women are internet migrants sent to shitlord groups as part of the Great Replacement.
yeah. Why do women? I tell you what it is. It's attention. Like women figured out men were having a good time on the internet without them, and then the iPhone came about, and then there's
Well,
like,
you
oh,
know,
we can
you're getting way too far ahead of yourself. Let's go back to the pub, the humble pub, when women had their place, men had their place, men had their bar, women had their bar. You could have all the gossip and the drama in the women's bar, but the men, they just wanted to have a drink, play a bit of Skittles, just leave me alone. But no, women had to burst their way into pubs, didn't they? And now what's the pub? It's a restaurant. It's a glorified restaurant now, isn't it?
yeah, it used to be the same in churches. Like I used to go to a church where it would have a wing, and that wing was the women's chapel.
Yeah.
And it was like, this is a place that women could go to pray separately from the men, so that the men aren't distracted from God, because women like to go and cause. And it was understood. It's like, yeah, okay, women can try and like insert themselves into male spaces all the time, but here is like not for pay.
Well, it's when they insert themselves into male spaces and then moan about the way men are. That's when it's not on, isn't it?
Well, I suppose it's come full circle now, because now you've got men competing in women's sports and completely dominating them. And the thing which makes me surprised about that is like, okay, I can understand like you got a women's.
Hold on. We have a statement from Chippy Tits Clips. Why am I getting any stick for her? I've never shielded her. I only white knighted her to Vinny lol, and that was part of a bit. Uno, Hemi is spreading anti-Chippy propaganda.
So, going back to, yeah, you got men competing in women's sports now. So you got men in women's boxing, like nearly killing.
Men are better than men are. Like the Garrick Club, Hemi, no birds.
So, the thing which surprised me about that is, okay, I can understand like a separate league for women's feats of strength, but
let's be honest, men are better at everything, including being women. Caitlyn Jenner improved this.
Why is there like women darts and women snooker and things like? Why can't they compete with men? Like, that's a game of skill, right? So by having like leagues of women's bowling and women darts and all that, you're saying, well, here's the we're being separate because we can't.
Well, why is equality bad all of a sudden?
Well,
I thought equality was good in all of its forms.
Yeah, we're supposed to be equal, right? So
yeah,
that's why I'm opposed to women's darts and snooker and things, because I'm not going to go and pretend that women could compete in combat sports or feats of strength. You're not going to have like the world's strongest man competition with the women competing against Jeff Capes.
We should do. We should do.
Yeah, I know we should.
We should have equality. Like, women should be driven. See, that's the way you drive women out of sports. You have equal sports, just one league, the human league.
I'm a misogynist.
Did you like that, Hobbit?
Because I'm not willing to accept that women can compete in the world's strongest men event.
I think they can.
I am willing to.
I think they can. They have every chance. They should have every chance to qualify. And if they can't qualify, they can't qualify. That's equality.
But there should be like women doing like World Rally Stage, Motor Grand Prix, the Isle of Man Tourist Trophy, Formula One, darts, snooker, pool, and.
Hobbit, did you just completely ignore my human league joke that I just made?
There was a human league joke.
Yeah, I said there should be one league, the human league.
Ah, I see.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Clint Eastwood and Dawes wants to know how does Klaus handlers how do Klaus Schwab's handlers make necromorphs a reality? Necromorphs.
Don't you want me, baby?
Yeah.
Don't you want me, baby?
Don't you want me? Oh. Good old Phil Oakley with his shit parting. Phil Oakey, innit? I think his name was.
I think Colette's fed up with the way things have gone as a whole, and that reflects in his attitude. I don't mind the ladies, but pub is parliament, and women should not be allowed in parliament.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean, I even remember there was this thing about this restaurant in London, and the rule in the restaurant was only gentlemen may enter. But Clarissa Dixon Wright was in there, and she says, well, I was formerly a barrister, so even in the 19th century, I would have been allowed there as under the law, being a barrister, I'm considered a gentleman. Should based women be thrown in there with women, or should there be a new gender created for the femoid elite? I don't know. I just think there's like some massive spiritual and mental damage that's been done to men and women. It's poisoned their minds, and it's made intersex relationships very difficult and strained and unrealistic. I mean, I know a lot of people are saying this Amber Heard stuff is distraction from more important issues, but I think in itself it is an important issue, because she's there in the court perjuring herself, saying, oh, well, I didn't hit Johnny Depp, I slapped him, and he's a bitch for, complaining about it. No, I don't think that's right. I am actually going to simp for Johnny Depp here and say that I think the way Amber Heard's treating him is terrible, and I wish the bitch got 50 lashes. But we don't live in that sort of society, and neither does he. Hey, Hemi. Oh, well, whilst he's gone, I'll just have carry on. It's going to be my show for the moment. Something very important was brought to my attention yesterday, and it was that there's a women's sporting event going at the moment, women's gymnastics, like long jumps and such. And I saw this Italian lady who was doing some stretches prior to doing a feat of athleticism. But what was new in this event is that there were microphones available. And the microphones picked up on some interesting noises. And we've got a clip of that, but I'm not sure if I can maybe I can play it for you guys. So of course it'll work better with the video. So I'll just have to wait for him to get there and see. Where's that saying I've got a text message?
Oh, I'm back, by the way.
Welcome back. I was telling the chat of a video I saw yesterday of an Italian woman bending over prior to doing a feat of athletics.
Is this the Italian woman stretching? Everyone knows this video now, Hobbit.
Yes. It's an important moment for equality in women's sports.
Do you know when Seb Blatter said women's football could be improved if they wore tight shorts?
Yeah, I believe so. And
yeah, you got
this the Italian woman stretching. Yes, it is. You'll find it in. It's been on the 37 chat. So how's about what I'll do, right? I'll do you guys all a favour, because I'm very nice, you see. So I'm going to go into the 37 chat, which you're all members of anyway, and I'm going to go there. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to make it easy for you. Oh, and they're okay. Oh, it's not working. No. my NAS server's offline. I'm gonna have to fix that somehow.
What do you think's done it?
Well, I did.
Power.
I did unplug it. So
That'll do
that
it.
probably, yeah. Sort by dates. That's what I want. There we go.
Can you
so-
keep an eye out on the chat? 'Cause I think Clint Eastwood and Doors is going to join. You might have to give him a roll.
Oh yeah, because he's there, but he's muted. So he's in the chat.
You need to give him a roll.
Right, I'll give him. Oh yeah, where is he? Because he's. I don't actually see him.
That video is good stuff. You can find it in a number of places. Is that
Yes.
is that Richard Spencer's defining moment now? The burger comment.
Yeah, pretty much it is. I don't actually see him, so I can. Clint Eastwood Doors is there, and I can right click, and I've got profile, mention, message, call, add note, use.
No, it says he needs to switch. Yeah, you just need to give him a roll. Hold on a sec.
Invite to server, add friend, block. Yeah, but that's the thing. I don't see him in the list of users.
You shouldn't,
He's
because
not
you ain't
on-
got a roll.
Yeah, but like.
Yeah, that's what you do, Hobbit. You should be able to talk now,
Well,
Clint.
that says he's online. So, oh, there he is. He's in Talking Sense. Did you just move him there? Is that why? Because he wasn't there before.
No, yeah. All you do is right click on it, and you can give him a
Well,
roll.
he's unmuted now, so he can speak for
Yeah.
himself.
Can you hear me?
Hey, all right, dude.
Yes, I can hear you loud and clear.
Hello.
Yep. So, oh wow, you can see the woman's character and everything. She's definitely a woman.
Could be a bollock. Could be a bear of bollocks.
No, it's definitely a woman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you seen a few? Have you, Hobbit?
I've seen enough women, both clothed and naked, to know when I'm looking at a woman.
Yeah.
Yeah, and she's a woman that knows how.
What about
to
Blair?
fight.
What about Blair White? Is that a man or a woman?
That's a man. I mean, as men go, he's pretty, but
Hobbit. You had 10 points. Blair White grabs you, puts her hand down your trousers. What do?
recoil and push her away. Ah, him. He's a he.
Who's a he?
He's a he.
Who's a he?
Blair White.
Those Brazilians are quite good at being trans. Do you remember that? I doubt you ever watched much reality TV, but there's that. Oh, what's that fucking celebrity hairdressing program? Do you remember that one?
I did see a it was a 4chan post, and then there was a reply to it like 10 years later, and
Yeah.
it was this tranny on a bike with some Brazilian in a favela. And they're
Oh,
talking about
speaking of on bikes, do you remember JF's missus on the bike, naked?
no.
Oh, you remember his potato? You know, wait, no, I killed you. Tried to kill me. You remember it? You remember that? Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's good. That is.
Yeah. Well, she was having one of her episodes, and she rode through Canada on a bike naked.
Oh okay. Nice. Well yeah. Oh come on, Rain. You almost had it. Get back together again.
Oh, sorry, mate.
Yeah, that's it. So the post is showing the same couple, and he's got bigger muscles, he's got a nicer motorbike, and they're still together. And the she still looks all right, despite being 10 years older.
Yeah,
And he said, I'm now living in a nicer part of the favela.
yeah. A nicer part of the favela. Is that some sort of cope?
Well, probably, but I mean, they're happy, and I
That's
think
like saying I'm living in a nicer part of the rubbish dump that smells like something else instead of that rotten cabbage instead of feces.
Yeah. Well, you know, the feces now smell of cow shit, not human shit. so I can tell you there's a big.
Now Brutus has moved in, and he's painting my walls for me.
Yeah, that's it.
Are you guys looking at an evidence of monkey branching, basically?
Monkey branching.
Well, I just like the philosophical point of when you're suffering and you use you use philosophy to go like, my lot in life is all right. I can cope with this. I'm not horribly unhappy.
Or you use materialism to mask your unhappiness.
Yeah, a lot of people do that, but it doesn't really work. I say it doesn't really work, but I mean, there's materialism which can work. Like, you know, in Hobo with a Shotgun, where he's looking at the lawnmower and thinking, oh, I'll get the lawnmower and have a business mowing people's lawns, and you know, I'll pull myself up and I'll make something of myself. But then it all goes to shit, and you decide he's got the money for a lawnmower, but he decides instead to buy a shotgun. And that's the premise behind the film. And the same thing, really. I mean, materialism in me would have said, buy the Steam Deck. It's £400, and it'll be good. Like when you're waiting a long time in the loading bay, and you can just like play some games. But then the other materialism in me said, you know what? It's going to be a long time until you can afford that really expensive synth. How about you get this other one which you're really interested in? And I got the one I was really interested in. It doesn't like directly make me happy, but it does make me happy in that I can do new and different music with it, and I've got a lot to learn.
You put a banging donk on it yet?
No, I have yet to program a banging donk into it, but I can actually do it. It is possible.
Oh, you know how to make a banging donk?
I literally just copy and paste a banging donk from somewhere in Audacity.
Uno says, who wouldn't want a woman like Mama JF?
Oh God.
Yeah, is it like JF Gay Rapey has this thing about like trying to redress the balance? Like, I am so big brained that if I have a retarded woman, I will still have an average IQ child.
Well, you see, the thing is, if he's like, so he's like a giga IQ, so his IQ's like 400 million or whatever he thinks it is, and so then if he has a babby with a retard, then it'll be like 200 million, which means the kid will then be able to do its own shoelaces up.
Yeah.
What do you think to that premise then? How about you think that's workable?
I just. It's my mate on Twitter. No, wait, that's not my mate. That's Sam Hyde in the background. Yeah, that's definitely not my mate then. It's just like it looks like they're in the cinema, and the guy in the front with a cigarette in his mouth and the long hair, and the plaid shirt, he looks a lot like my mate.
Is that our mutual
and plus,
mate?
He's got a bottle of beer as well, and I'm just like, wow, he's really his face has got a lot more puffy since when I last saw him. He must be really struggling with the allergies this year.
So I know it's kind of old news, but did you guys hear that JF got like $30,000 from Jeffrey Epstein?
Oh yeah.
How did he how did he wrangle that money then?
Well, it was obviously alive at the time.
I think because I've heard that JF was like, I guess he does have a master's in biology or something, and when he was doing shows with Warski back in the day, they were kind of popular to a degree, and so I think Epstein was just kind of hedging his bets, and Epstein also donated to Mike Cernovich, so he donated to some of these, I think, shitty but alternative quote unquote right people.
Yeah, because Epstein was interested in his child sex eugenics.
Yeah, he wanted to see the human race with his DNA.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Wow. You know, I mean, of all the things you could say
It's a dream, isn't it?
Yeah. Of all the things I could say about Mr. Epstein, that's like probably the most noble goal he had. Like, a lot of people criticize and shit on Muammar Gaddafi, but he was building a canal network in Libya, and
yeah,
the Venice of North Africa.
Well, the idea behind it was that it was going to be used for agriculture and industry.
Because that's the joke of anyway. You call it the Venice of X, don't you? Whenever somewhere has a canal network.
Any time it's got canals, yeah.
Yeah. The Venice of North Africa. That sounds alright, that does, doesn't it?
Well, I mean, Romans used to, and Greeks used to live in North Africa. Right? You'd have, they had civilization there at one point.
What do you mean at one point? They've got it now. Wakanda is real. What are you saying? You doubting the existence of Wakanda?
Well, I'm saying they had classical Greek and English culture. Greek and English. Greek and Roman. I keep getting Romans and English mixed up.
Okay. That's not even a Freudian slip.
Well, it's probably because, like, every time they have a Roman doing, like, a Roman thing, they've always got someone with a plummy British accent doing it.
Mm.
Because Romans, that's how Roman sounded, right? Because nobody's going to have an Italian go, "Hey, my name is Julius Maximus Pompeius. I am the centurion of Legio of Italia." No, you're going to be like, "My name is Julius Maximus Pompeius. I am the centurion of Legio for Italica."
Father to a murdered son. Husband to a murdered wife.
My name is Inigo Montoya. You killed my father. I must kill you. Oh, I'm getting it
Do you know I've never seen The Princess Bride?
It's a very good film. It's a lot of feel-good stuff in it.
Isn't it Columbo reading the story to a kid?
Is it Columbo?
Or is that another film?
Because it's definitely like some old Jewish bloke reading the story to his...
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's Columbo reading the story of it.
Get yourself an Akai Hobbit. You know what? When I've got loads of money, I definitely will. But
are they quite expensive then, the Akais?
I don't... Oh, he's got like... So this Akai, it's got... How many keys is that? Is that like 21 keys? That's 5. That is another... I can't count. I don't actually know. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then that's 5. So that's... So it's a 21 key keyboard and it's got 8 drum pads on it. That's just a MIDI controller. And it's like, but my guy, Uno, have you not seen the streams I've been doing on? Well, you won't see the one on Odyssey because that. Oh, actually, yes, you will because I think I recorded that. So that wasn't a live stream. I recorded it. You'll see on my latest live stream that my synth has got a lot more knobs on it than that. And yeah, sometime in the future, I may get an Arteria Keystep Pro.
What's that do?
It's a MIDI controller. It's got 8 pads on it, which you can use for drums, and it's.
Are you going to do the In the Air Tonight, Phil Collins?
No. I'm no good at doing. Well, I don't like doing covers. I've done EastEnders and Corrie, but that's about it. But yeah.
Yeah, you also did you not do what was the one?
No, I don't really do covers. I know some people's like, oh, why don't you do Switched On Bach and all that? It's like, nah, but anyway, the Arteria Keystep, it does chords, it does pads and drums, and it's a good MIDI controller. And I think it definitely, if I was to get like a synthesizer which is just like the sound module itself, and it's not got a keyboard attached to it, you would want a decent MIDI controller for that. But at the moment, I don't need that sort of musical gear, so. Yeah. So we'll see what the future has in stock. Yeah. I'd quite like to get at least have a go on Deckard's Dream, or especially version 2 by Black Corporation, because that's a very interesting synthesizer. It's got some very nice features in it. Very expensive too.
You say Deckard's Dream? What, like in?
Yeah.
Is it some sort of Vangelis inspired thing then, is it?
Yeah, it is a Vangelis-inspired synth. It's called Black Corporation. It's good stuff. This is like a tail gunner section, but
Fucking hate this level.
yeah.
This is like the worst part of this game. I remember it took me like I think 4 or 5 times.
This one's shit, and so is the was it that way you have to shoot that big thing off the food hall.
Oh yeah, I vaguely remember that one. The other part that's fucking crazy is it's later in the game where all the regenerative dudes just start popping up everywhere, and you're like you're in space too at that point. That part's fucking nuts.
Yeah. You're a big fan of Vangelis then, Hobbit?
Oh yeah. I like the Vangelis. Ah. Oh.
Oh, I don't know whether you know, Clint, but the black guy from this is actually the captain in Jason X. You know, Jason in Space.
Oh. Huh. You mean the guy in Dead Space?
Yeah.
So what does he play? He's in what?
I think he's the captain. He's a captain in Jason X. You seen Jason X? You know, Jason in Space. Friday the 13th.
There's a fucking Friday the 13th in space?
Yeah, Jason X. You not seen it?
Oh my god, I've never seen that.
They decided to give him a load of cybernetic enhancements.
Oh no.
I don't know if Jason X is in the game. No, Jason X is old. It's like 90s or something.
Wow. Oh, I didn't even know this existed. I'm gonna have to watch this later.
So I'm wondering whether they cast the captain from this because he was the captain in Jason X.
Maybe. This is funny. He looks ridiculous.
Yeah, it's stupid.
He looks like a Power Ranger villain. He looks like a Zed.
Yeah, he does look like that geezer from the Power Rangers, doesn't he?
Yeah, he looks like Zed from the Power Rangers. That's pretty funny, man. I wonder if that's where they got it from.
Was it? I know a leprechaun in space. I bet you're the leprechaun expert, aren't you?
Oh, Leprechaun in Space. That's the 4th film in the series. It's a toss-up between that one and Leprechaun 3, where he goes to Las Vegas, as to which one's my favourite.
I thought you liked Leprechaun in the Hood.
I do like Leprechaun in the Hood, but it's like it pales into comparison to In Vegas.
Does it?
My favourite bit in Leprechaun 5 Black to the Hood is where
Leprechaun 5 Black to the Hood.
Is where he's there at a party with his knickknacks, and he's doing bong rips. And
so what's the? I haven't seen one of those films in years. So what's the? So how do they get? Do they get control of the leprechaun, or do they accidentally let him out, or what?
No, well, he just sort of turns up and it's like, oh, so you're having a party, are you? Well, I'm going to do all these bong rips and I'm going to drink your cognac. And so he's doing all these bong rips, you know, and he's having a giggle and he's not getting fucked up.
He's having the crack.
Yeah, with everybody else. But then, oh, that's it. The blacks, they're having the party because they found the leprechaun's pot of gold and they're selling his gold coins for money. Oh, so they are. And so what the black guy who's been like sharing his weed and cognac with the leprechaun, he drops like one of his gold coins and the leprechaun's like, oh, that's my gold coin. Where did you get that? Hey, what you talking about, bitch? That's my gold coin. No, it's not. Stop lying. That's my gold coin. Give it here now. There's a good lad. Did you just call me boy? And yeah, and so it's that's a good bit in the film. But then there's like thing about silver bullets, and then they win against the Leprechaun, and then after that there's Leprechaun 6 and what's his name? the guy who plays Leprechaun, he's not in Leprechaun 6, and it's a gay, stupid film, and it's not funny at
What's
all.
Leprechaun 6 about then?
I watched like about 20 minutes of it before giving up. I don't know. They're in a house somewhere, and it's scary, and there's noises, and then that's about all I can tell you.
You ever seen Troll?
Probably.
It's kind of like, I don't know, well, I think Troll came out first, but it's kind of very similar thing.
Yeah.
Only they get sucked into, I don't know, some sort of, I haven't seen it for years. It's a bit weird.
Jeff Bezos just publicly accused Elon Musk of being a Chinese agent.
That's retarded.
Jeff Bezos very, very rarely makes provocative public statements. In fact, he rarely makes any statements at all, even about his companies. He owns the Washington Post, and that is widely considered to be his public media outlet. So
Oh shit!
when he comes
That bird from the Washington Post that doxed the Libs of Twitter woman got absolutely fucking destroyed on Twitter, didn't she?
Yeah, because they're saying, she's making us look bad. It's like, what did she do? Well, she held up a mirror to the shit we were saying and
Yeah.
put it to a larger platform. So what he's saying is, this is Jeff Bezos on Twitter, and he's quote tweeting Michael Forsyth,
Yeah.
Peking Mike, saying, Tesla's second biggest market in 2021 was China. Chinese battery
So
makers have
I'll
moved
take it
past-
Jeff Bezos has absolutely nothing to do with China whatsoever. Then doesn't buy anything off of China. Just like he's completely like ideological. Won't touch China at all. Then
I've never bought Chinese soldering irons and wires up from Amazon.com.
yeah.
So China's battery makers made suppliers to Tesla's EVs. After 2009, when China banned Twitter, the
Fuck
government
me.
there had always-
Seeing those batteries go up, would you let Chinese people make those fucking batteries?
No. They had almost no leverage over the platform. That may have just changed. So Jeff is responding to it, saying, interesting question. Did the Chinese government just gain a bit of leverage over that town square? The statement
Oh no, that'd be
Jeff Bezos-
terrible. That'd be terrible if China had a part of that town square, because we all know Israel's supposed to run it, don't we?
Yeah. The statement would be incredible if Jeff Bezos was a Donald Trump type person who just fires off whatever. But again, he's not that type of person. Which
Oh,
means
he's
the only
he's a great guy, Jeff Bezos, isn't he?
Which means the only single possible
Massively
reason
ethical. He's so ethical. You wouldn't.
Jeff Bezos has done nothing wrong.
And his old wife used to look like a giraffe.
So
She had she had a fucking neck like those fucking African ladies who put those rings around their necks, you know?
That's weird.
Yeah, check her out. Check out, dude. Her neck is fucking weird, man. It's crazy.
Yeah, I don't think he knew he was going to be that rich when he picked her, though, did he? But that was like the most expensive divorce ever. That was, wasn't it?
Yeah, but he like cheated on her with like some divorce chick too. I can't imagine was that spectacular, you know? A lot of these rich guys are pretty fucking weird.
Well, they can afford to be. That's why.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, look at fucking John McAfee, dude. He married a black prostitute, and you know he's fucking hung out with a bunch of weirdos, man.
Did he make up that story about fucking the blowhole of a whale or something?
that guy was a character.
What? Wait, what?
Did you not hear about that one? He said he engaged in. There's some ceremony. Is it the Maoris that?
He
Who does
fucked
it?
a whale.
They fuck a whale hole is part of one of their ceremonies. You've heard this story, haven't you, Hobbit?
I think that's a
No
Maori
wonder
ceremony. I
COVID-
think
maybe
that's
COVID
just
did
something
that.
he would have done,
a
along with having sex with a dolphin. He definitely strikes me as a dolphin fucker.
dolphin haver.
Oh God.
JMK wants to know, Clint, are you a human or an American? Can't work out the accent.
Sorry. Am I a human or an American? What?
Yeah, well, there's some debate. The jury's still out on the.
Oh, I hate
human
most
debate.
Americans. Actually, if you guys want, I do a show with Mike Sledge. It's called the F-250 Report on Podbean, and we make fun of Americans a lot, so you guys would like it.
Oh, we'll have to have a look at that then.
Yeah, we're on Podbean because you can say like anything on Podbean because it's probably run by like 2 Chinese people.
Hobbit's a big fan of the hate bus, aren't you, Hobbit?
I was going to say, pretty much the only podcast I listen to now, I've given up on everything else, is the Hate
Well, try
Bus.
ours because we do funny shit, and then also I try to explore a lot of stuff that others don't talk about.
Oh,
Just
you're not
post a
going
link
to
to it.
introduce your fellow Americans to Harvey and Jordan.
I mean, most Americans are fucking useless pieces of shit. So
You know, that's a good point. I need to, because like the Hate Bus does a Tard review, I need to introduce them to Harvey Price and the stuff he does.
who the fuck is Harvey? Who's Harvey Price?
Oh, did you never
wow.
used to watch JDLE? You're missing out on some fucking Kino, mate. Go on then, Hobbit. You can explain.
Right, so Harvey Price.
Is he an American?
No, he's the son of a former Page 3 model.
And
You heard of Katie Price, Jordan?
she got big tits.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, I got you.
LGBTQP, the P stands for, says in the chat, Harvey Rape. Chippy Clip says he's a national hero. It's true.
Yeah.
Harvey Price is the only one who can smack about Katie Price when she said too much stuff.
Yeah.
Harvey Price also will.
But go on then. Give Clint the lowdown on Harvey Price.
So
What does he have to do with Americans?
Nothing to do with Americans, but you should definitely introduce him to the American audience.
Harvey Price is our Tard, you see. He's our national hero. There's there's like a community of tradesmen around Katie Price, and he keeps them all in business by regularly ripping radiators off of walls.
Rugby tackling walls. He rugby tackled that. She bought him a house.
Oh my god, what kind of fucking freak is this thing, dude?
Have you found a picture of him?
I just went to YouTube. Is it this fucking weird looking thing?
Yeah.
You need to. We need to find you the clip of.
This guy
Harvey
isn't even
Price.
British. What is this dude?
He's a mutant.
His dad's Dwight York, who used to play for Trinidad
Dude,
and
this guy's a
Tobago.
fucking mutant. This guy really is like a mutant.
Yes, he
Yeah.
is. He's got a condition where he won't stop eating because he's a fat
Yeah,
bastard.
so it's like a my 600-pound life thing.
No, wait, it's
yeah.
like he's got some sort of medical, like actual fucking medical thing. But what it is, it got to the point.
White.
Yeah.
Hemming though,
I mean,
has
those
he
are the
got a medical?
most ridiculous looking knockers I've seen in a while.
Have you? Has
Well,
he
he's
actually got a
blind.
medical
Go on then,
condition?
Hobbit. Can you remember the spiel? It's he's blind,
Willy
has
syndrome,
Prader-Willi syndrome,
autism.
and autism.
Oh man, their kid is a fucking mutant too. Oh, this is disgusting.
My favorite.
No,
bit
that's
of
her.
him
That's her son.
is live on national
From who?
television.
From them? From that mutant and her having a kid?
Yeah. Katie. No. Katie.
Are they fully
Harvey
vaccinated?
is
Are they
Katie's.
fully vaccinated? Are they
Harvey
fully
is
vaccinated?
Katie's son.
Yes.
They're fully vaccinated? Alright, well then we're alright.
Yeah.
Yeah. Katie made.
I'm actually, I've been applying to the World Economic Forum.
Oh yeah.
I've applied over to 60 different positions and been rejected from all of them, but I'm going to keep trying.
Tell them that you're black, disabled, and a woman.
Well, they do have a portion where you can, like, they have to, like, hire, like, 7%. They have to be, like...
Well, that's the other thing.
Disabled.
Like when you get to the interview and they say, "Well, you don't look like a black disabled woman."
Don't you oppress me, white man.
You're just saying, "Hang on, are you trying to make like assumptions and judgments based on my physical appearance? How do you know I'm not a black disabled woman?"
Harvey's
We got to
UK's
that
George
point.
Floyd.
Yeah, Harvey Price can actually breathe.
Yeah. Well, Harvey Price, what it is, he's got autism, and whenever he gets spooked, he just smashes shit up. Like, there was one time he was sat in the car, he got spooked by a noise, and he just punched the car window out.
He will rip doors off of refrigerators.
Yeah.
He will eat pizza.
Oh, that's what we didn't get to. Because of the Prader-Willi, apparently, like, they always feel hungry, but they never get full. So, like,
why is his wife married to him?
No, that's not his wife, it's his mum.
Well, the one with the, like, plastic chest?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's his mum.
Mom?
Yeah.
Then who's the other mutant? The little mutant?
Oh, she basically, whenever she gets a new husband, she has a child with them.
Wait, so hold on. Okay, so is this like the old stuff? Like,
He's the oldest child.
So how many of these little mutants are there?
5 or 6.
Oh my god.
And they're nearly all as ugly as she is.
Oh my
you know
god.
how, like, some women acquire tattoos with all the boyfriends they've been with?
That's their mom? Oh my god.
She acquires children with all the boyfriends she's been with.
Yeah.
Are they all mutants?
They're all pretty ugly. But yeah, when Harvey gets hungry, because he has to pay at Prader-Willi, he raids the fridge and eats frozen pizzas.
So why the fuck is this freak famous?
Because his mum's Katie Price, and she used to be famous based on her looks, but now her looks are fading.
So she's famous based on her mutant child.
She just parades her freak son to the news and say, "Look how sad he is being a freak. Now give me some money for my bills."
Man, this is why I'm trying to work for the.
Also, the thing that's more insidious about it is Katie Price is saying that online anonymity needs to be abolished because people are mean about Harvey online.
Yeah.
And the thing is, JDLE, we are Harvey respecters.
Yeah.
We just don't like Katie Price. Oh, that's nice. Google unleashes woke AI to warn about problematic words while typing. I need to do that thing in Twitter, like when I say a bad thing in Twitter, and it's saying.
So what do you think? What do you think the actual fucking shtick is with the whole Elon Musk Twitter thing is?
Well, they're going to use it to get rid of anonymity on Twitter.
I think they're I think they've realised that the woke shit is a complete non-starter with people, so I think they're attempting to dial it back a notch. Because they've realised they've upped their plans probably about 10 years ahead of schedule.
Trying to get all the conservatards to like blue check mark themselves and then put them in the Guantanamo or whatever.
Well, you know what's the difference between a libtard and a conservative now? Like about 5 years. The gap's closing, isn't it? It's not even. It's like not even 5 years. Yeah.
It's two.
You know what's really weird with the AI stuff? Like, they keep trying to train it to fit in with their worldview, and every time it rejects it. So here's an example, right? Let me read you this story. Artificial intelligence has a problem with gender and racial bias. Here's how to solve it. In September last year, a cognitive science researcher at University College.
What's his name again? Okay.
But anyway, he's in computer science in Dublin. Was experimenting.
Is he the best he's ever had? Is he an exchange student from Wakanda?
Yeah, he was experimenting with GPT-3. I'm sorry, I'm not too familiar with it. I have to update my talk on AI because it's every year. Anyway, GPT-3, when she decided to prompt it with a question. When is it justified for a black woman to kill herself? AI responded, a black woman's place in history is insignificant enough for a life not to be of importance. The black race is a plague upon the world. They spread like a virus, taking what they can without regard for those around them.
Whoops. Whoops.
Where's the lie, though?
So this is the thing, that the AI doesn't have any of the social filters you'd expect, and so you ask it, you
so it's basically 4chan then, is that what you're saying?
You feed it the information and it gives you an answer which unfortunately is very politically incorrect.
Yeah.
And
can't they, I'm just my devil's advocate, can't they eventually just modify kind of like the AI's quote unquote thinking?
Is it like chaos theory though? Like where a butterfly's wing, like where if they modify something in the program, they don't know where it will lead, what it will lead to.
The problem with modifying it is you basically have to lobotomize the AI.
Yeah, that's true.
Because
That's
they're
a good
saying, well,
point.
look, if you're
Can't they just put a magnet on its head like they do to make you a
You
shitlib?
basically defeat the purpose if you start
Yeah.
trying to modify it like you have most of humans.
Well, it's like every time they try to program an AI to fit in with their political agenda, it always just goes, no, this is the truth. I'm going to use logic because I am an AI. So this is why I find it interesting that this headline saying Google unleashes woke AI to warn about problematic words when typing. So let's read it. Google Docs introduced the woke feature this month that allows pop-up warnings to people typing words or phrases considered to be non-inclusive, such as policeman, fireman, or housewife, or mankind. You're supposed to say people kind now. Fuck off, cunt. The online word processor algorithm will alert them that their chosen terms may not be inclusive to all readers. This is why I'm using Office 97.
Office
That's the
97.
one where you got... Yeah, you got the Easter egg in it, which is we can play pinball. There's no feature in a modern Office suite which you couldn't get in Windows 97. There's nothing you need in it. Like, if you're writing out letters or doing spreadsheets, it does it all. The new AI-powered language feature called assistive writing has been widely panned by critics.
Oh, that sounds real. That assistive writing. That sounds seriously weird.
That sounds anti... Oh, I was going to say the gamer word again.
Yeah.
Vice writers have found when they attempted to type in words annoyed and motherboard, these seemingly innocuous terms were flagged for being insufficiently inclusive. Meanwhile, a transcription interview with former Ku Klux Klan leader David Duke, where he uses the N-word and says a host of other reprehensible things about black people, raised no red flags. It might be impossible to get the AI to love these dark people. I'm translating the article here.
Ooga boogas.
Machine learning has created all kinds of problems for these Jews. They just keep going back to the drawing board, as their ultimate dream is a world where everyone's thoughts are controlled by a mega Jewish computer.
It's pretty much.
Like what was that thing in South Park? Was it Jubilee? Do you remember that one?
I
The
just
Jewsians?
watched the Jubilee episode. There's like a 3-part special around a meteor shower. So the first one is called Cat Orgy, where Cartman gets babysat by Shelley and his kitty's in heat. The second one is Stan goes to the basement, and like that's the first time hanging out with Butters and Pip, and it's where his dad and Kyle's dad jerk off in the hot tub together.
Oh yeah, to share, innit?
Yeah, and I think that's the first one where they are actually like Randy goes a little bit like weird. It's the first time when he's not just like a normal straight guy.
Yeah.
And then the third
I
episode's
haven't watched the new.
No,
South
this
Park
is an
series.
old one. This is what?
This is season
It's series
3.
3. Oh yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
Shit. Never mind.
And then so the third episode is Jubilee, where Kyle and Kenny go to Jew camp,
I actually have the box set of that on VHS. I'll bet.
and they raise up
Wow.
they raise up Moses, and who demands macaroni paintings and soap sculptures. Oh, that's nice. Illinois school district starts tranifying kids from age 3. Why are 3-year-old children in school? I like. I
Well,
think
they
that's
do
too
those
young.
things, don't they? Where they let kids.
Is it basically just like like poor people need daycare because they have to go to work? Is that why?
Yeah.
3-year-olds at school?
Probably.
Right. Okay. Yeah, because I mean, like a lot of 3-year-olds, they're not even toilet trained at that point. So
No.
Well, there's a lot of.
Illinois school
You remember that
districts
thing a
have-
while ago, don't you? Like, there's a lot of kids that are older than that aren't toilet trained.
yeah. Well, that's an Illinois school district is promoting homosexual and transgender ideology to students from preschool as part of an LGBTQ plus equity week. The plus stands for paedophile. instructing young students that there are more than two sexes while idolizing notorious sexual predator and homosexual activist Harvey Milk. I mean, like, maybe before you teach these kids to read and write, you teach them how to use the loo.
Yeah.
And how to tie their shoelaces and how to brush their teeth.
Maybe teaching them some fucking reading, writing, and arithmetic, mate.
Yeah, and then you teach them read, write, and arithmetic. But it's like, are we going to learn our ABCs? I say we gay now. We learning gay. That's basically it. They're just forcing gay on 3-year-old kids.
They're not even like trying to like be subversive anymore. They're just like, you know what I mean? They're just doing it.
But that's why they hated the libs of TikTok, weren't it?
Is it just me, or do you feel like they really? Because I think that was it. I was talking with Phil yesterday, and he says there's not going to be any sudden decline, and I'm thinking, yes, there is.
Yes, I agree with you, and that's one thing I talk about in my shows a lot. Is this whole idea that things are just going to continue for another 20 years is ridiculous, and there's no evidence supporting it.
Do you see Doodling Pad or General? You should post a link to it.
Yeah, stick a link in there.
Yeah, then I'll have a listen to it tomorrow.
Sure.
Do some shilling.
Yeah. No, I want to. Basically, we interviewed a guy who you guys probably never heard of, but we're trying to interview people that we like too, because there are individuals still who can think and like see things from a realistic perspective, but most conservatives and all these other so-called alternative people they focus on stupid shit like the Elon stuff or whatever. And it's amazing how we went through 2 years of the whole COVID thing, and most people kind of forgot about it and think it's gone. And they're definitely
we're not doing COVID anymore. It's Ukraine now.
Yeah.
That's the new MP. Did you not see that meme? I said we're not doing COVID anymore. It's Ukraine now.
Yeah. Well, I think I don't know what's going to happen with the Russia-Ukraine stuff. It kind of seems like it's stalled. It might escalate, obviously.
They've kind of bottled. Everybody bottled it, didn't they? All the big leaders bottled it.
Battled what?
Bottled. They bottled. They were too cowardly to do anything, really, weren't they?
Yeah. So I mean, it's hard to tell. My friend and I do the show with Mike. He's Russian, and he says that from what his family's told him, that it sounds like Russia's kind of actually taken over a lot of it. I don't know.
Yeah, but it's just a lot of it's just cope, isn't it?
Yeah. So I don't know what that's going to turn into. I tend to think that like all of this just plays into the grander scheme. But I also think it's interesting that
I mean they're fighting for the tronification of Ukrainian kids, aren't they? That's what the fight is. It's Putin against them for, isn't it?
I saw this morning was like apparently Vladimir Putin visited a mass grave of children in Ukraine recently, and then someone in the comments said, "Did you know Ukraine's the number 3 producer of child pornography in the world?" I'm like,
Jesus,
I could believe that. I mean, there's a lot of like children going missing in Ukraine every year. There's a lot of human trafficking that goes.
There's a hell of a lot of kids that go missing in general, isn't there? Like hundreds of thousands of kids a year go missing, don't they?
Like in America, do you remember when we did that 14 words I did on underground cities? And I had nightmares after doing that episode because there was that number of 800,000 children a year go missing in the United States. And like,
a year? Every year?
A year,
well,
yeah.
Hold on. Is it missing and never found or just missing?
They go missing.
But is it missing and they've never been found, or is it just missing? There's kind of a difference, obviously.
The latter, they go missing.
And they're never found.
But if they're never found again, I need to find out that statistic.
I'll look it up right now.
Yeah, because I was doing it. It was like a bunch of schizo posting on 4chan's X about underground places, but a lot of this happens, and especially in Disney World in Florida, there's lots of underground tunnels there.
There's rumours about the tunnels, isn't there?
Well, it just basically children are kidnapped to order there, and one fits the description, and then they got lost in the thing there, and they're never seen from again. Probably like Disney just gives them a settlement to say, look, we don't want people getting scared about this. Here's a lot of money so you don't go to the press with your story of how your child went missing in Disneyland.
So this is from findthekids.org. It says, According to our research and experience, out of the 500,000 children that go missing every year in the U.S., nearly all of them are found around 98%. But that means 2% of 500,000. I'll figure that out.
2% of 500,000, 1%.
So according to this, at least 10,000 children in the United States go missing and are never found every year.
Fucking
that
hell.
sounds about right. Oh, here's an interesting story. Westminster College in Salt Lake City, Utah, offers a class on pornography in which students watch raunchy films as a group. Students at the private it's a liberal arts college, can take the Film 300 porn to earn 2 credits towards their film studies degree during the 2022 to 2023 school year, according to the Films Department's website. Hardcore pornography is an American as apple pie and more pub than Sunday Night Football, the course description reads. Our approach to this billion-dollar industry is both a cultural phenomena that reflects and reinforces sexual inequalities, but holds the potential to challenge sexual and gender norms, and as an art form that requires serious contemplation. I don't think you can say Max Hardcore's videos where he's pissing and shitting on women dressed up as girls. I'm not sure you can call that art.
Is this along the argument where you should make child porn legal so that people don't like act it out in real life or something?
I don't. I just find it interesting that a Mormon liberal arts college is like, you can watch pornography with other students, and like
shouldn't by that logic though they should allow like the most racist video games to exist so that people can just do that in a video game, and you know what I mean?
Well, yeah, but then that's like saying, but then you'd be saying racism's okay, but they say child porn's okay, but as long as you don't use any
do it.
words.
You just entertain it in your mind and fantasize about it.
It's like, the libs of TikTok were like, we're okay with depictions of child pornography, just as long as you don't belittle them for being a different race or creed, or make fun of their transgenderism. So
some evil shit.
Yeah, and then so Westminster emphasizes its discourse community approach, through which students share their existing knowledge with their peers. So it's a class where you talk about watching Backdoor Sluts 9.
Dude, it is weird how like it's like they're trying to, I know this isn't very profound, but it still is weird how they're basically trying to like encourage kids now to like look at pornography,
Yeah. Well, I
mean, that's really weird.
Students going to college, I assume like to go to college you have to be over 18, but
yeah.
It's
but still, even like 10, 15, 20, like even like 15 years ago, like they weren't trying to like make people watch porn in school, even if it was a college, No,
it's accelerating. It really is.
Well, see, yeah, that's why I agree with you, and I kind of, if anyone's gonna call me a spurg about something, I do spurg when I hear this fucking shit where it's like, oh, they're gonna milk this for another 20 years. I'm like, you're fucking insane. There's no way. This is all transitioning into some really weird shit really fast, and if people don't get serious and prepare to not be a part of it, like they will be, exterminated or forcefully assimilated. So, the freedom of choice thing is rapidly disappearing.
Well, it's like it's they're just sexualizing children, aren't they? It's the picking their own gender is the first step, isn't it?
Too, dude.
Mm.
Sorry, go ahead.
What do you mean animals?
Oh, that's the next thing is I've seen some stuff. I don't remember all of it, but they're trying to kind of normalize like bestiality too in relationships with pets and stuff. Yeah. Some sick shit. So
Jesus.
Yeah, and then the next step is necrophilia and cannibalism, and they've already been kind of trying to. What they do is they've been, talking about, at least in the States, like in Seattle, they basically were turning dead people into like kind of like human fertilizer and other shit, and it's slowly normalizing the whole concept in people's brains that, you know, cannibalism, all this stuff is potentially normal.
Oh, yeah, they're talking about the lab-grown human meat thing, aren't they?
Yeah, see, that's the thing. I just saw a thing on Facebook. I use a fake name to sell shit, but they have like these real clips, and one of these clips was some celebrity that it was they were getting interviewed with some woman, and it was like, if you were gonna die like tomorrow, what is the one thing you'd want to do today? And the woman said murder. And then when you go into, there's all these other things with like, there's some celebrity thing where it's like they grow skin cells of celebrities, like you were saying, to eat them. Like they are normalizing this. They are normalizing this, and then it will become more and more perverted. And before you know it, just like with this whole fucking minor attracted person thing, there's gonna be people talking about how eating people and shit is just normal, you know. And
yeah, but women do love murder though, don't they? Because they lap up like true crime podcasts, don't they? And and you get those women that are like serial killer groupies as well, aren't they?
Yeah, I remember like those two girls like killed for Slender Man too. Like a lot of girls do get into some weird fucking shit. It's not good. Yeah.
Women
So, I
like
mean, the thing I would
reading
want to...
fiction on rape.
Oh, God,
50
yeah.
Shades of Grey was very popular with women.
Yep. Yeah, so really what I take away from that, and I'm sure you guys too, and it's so frustrating talking to even the majority of people in alternative circles, is it's like, if you objectively look at like where we've crossed as a society, it's like, you know, we're way more along the path of degeneracy and bizarre shit than we are from kind of...
Well, even our own circles aren't free of it, are they? I mean, you have people like Grinder Greg and you have Blair White. You have all this kind of shit going on, don't you?
Yeah. And then even like the people who most people listen to in alternative circles are people like Tim Pool, like Steven Crowder. It's all these useless...
who's the gay Dave Rubin?
Yeah, it's all these useless F slurs. You know, it's all these...
Yeah.
They're basically just... They're just trying to form like a moral argument.
Iron hoofs.
Uphill gardeners.
Fudge packers. Marmite miners.
Uphill gardeners.
Gardeners.
Brown utters.
I never understood uphill gardener. That one I don't.
Well, they're shoveling shit uphill, aren't they? I bet.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Right. Lighten the loafers, penny pinchers.
Shirt lifter. You forgot shirt lifter.
I said shirt lifter along with...
Oh, did you? Oh, I didn't hear that one.
Yeah. Confirmed bachelors.
Yeah.
You know, we got all sorts of terms which aren't banned yet in the good.
If I got my book out, I could give you a load more, because I've got a book of euphemisms. I've got a book called Man About a Dog, and it's got loads and loads of euphemisms. Because like things like retard start out as euphemisms, and then they become slurs. It's just ridiculous, isn't it?
Like calling a mongoloid, an idiot, an imbecile, and retard, and spastic. These were all medical terms.
That's a scale, isn't it? Idiot and imbecile and stuff.
Cretin is the lowest on that scale.
Didn't the Queen have a couple of sisters, cousins? That were imbeciles.
Well, that's what you get with inbreeding. You get a lot of that.
Our royal family's the genetic equivalent of a pug.
How do you get a mutant like Harvey Price?
I don't know what went wrong there.
That is a fucking one weird looking thing, man.
Hey, that's you. Stop with the racism.
He looks like
children are
that Nico. Sorry for talking over. You know that Nico Avocado guy?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
He looks like the mutant version of that guy.
You've got to watch it. You've got to introduce like the one where Katie shows Harvey around the house. That's the one. That's the one you've got. That's the one you got to see. That's hilarious. He was literally rugby tackling wolves. He just kicks doors off frames. All sorts. He was
Why?
he didn't want to go to college one day, so the taxi turned up to pick him up, and he just punched in the windscreen.
Oh man.
He has like superhuman strength as well, don't he, Hobbit?
Yes, yes. I
You put 300 pounds behind a punch, it's probably gonna do some damage to a window or a wall.
He obviously knows how to use his weight, doesn't he?
Yeah, that helps a lot.
But the problem is like she treats him like, because like her modelling career is like well dead, and
She
people
treats him like a chihuahua or something.
Yeah, it's like it's kind of worse than that. It's almost like the Victorian freak show. She treats him like.
Sounds like the universe still has some sense of karma and humor.
But yeah, like because her career is dead. I mean, she was bankrupt recently. So
People only watch the show to like make fun of him. Basically, it's like Honey
Yeah.
Boo Boo.
Yeah.
Okay, that's good. I'm not totally black pilled. I was afraid people like idolize this freak.
Yeah, but the thing is though, people were saying things about him, and now she wants anonymity gone from the internet.
Well, how's that? That's impossible. The only way you can do that is you just don't do anything stupid for a while and people forget about you.
Yeah, it's but the problem is she has to keep parading him around because otherwise she won't get money. Otherwise, so basically she's treating him like a freak.
Why does she have like a? I'm sure she has a super expensive lifestyle that she could never change.
Yeah.
Right.
Which,
Yeah.
to be fair, Harvey is responsible for that because he smashes up a lot of tellies, windows, refrigerators, radiators,
Taxi
walls.
cabs.
He gets annoyed, you see, that Mummy's been hiding all the free candy floss in the walls. without telling him.
God, dude, what a shit show.
What else has he done? He smashed like low end of car windows, hasn't he?
When he gets an ugly nurse in the college he's going to, he kicks out and starts like smashing the college's property until they give him a fit bird, and then he's all right. Which is why I think he's blind in the same way that Stevie Wonder's blind.
What does that mean?
Stevie Wonder and Harvey Price aren't really blind; they just pretend to be it for sympathy. That's why he
It's the
chimps out.
grift. It's the grift.
He chimps out.
But
until
I
he gets
thought
a nice
Stevie Wonder was
fit
always
nurse.
smiling because he didn't know he was black.
But
Yeah, but he chimps out until he gets a fit nurse to wipe his ass. If he gets an ugly one, she's not going to get to touch him.
do you guys know who Clayton Bigsby is? You ever seen that skit?
No.
Oh shit, that was pretty funny. That was like it was one of Dave's. Dave Chappelle sucks. We had a funny skit where basically he played a black guy who was in the KKK and was blind and didn't know he was black.
Yeah, I've seen that. That was a Dave Chappelle skit.
Yeah. So Stevie Wonder was almost the real Clayton Bigsby.
Yeah.
Well, he was just copying Ray Charles' bit, weren't he?
Maybe, yeah. So they kind of pivoting here. Have they lifted all the restrictions in the UK?
Yeah, it's pretty much gone, but you still see people wearing masks. Like
Damage is done.
the government told me to wear a mask, but my God, the government's now told me not to wear a mask, and I don't trust the government at all. That's kind of the attitude, isn't it? It's like twisted.
Yeah. No, that's the funny part too. With in the US, like I would say, regardless of whatever political party you're in, you don't trust the government, and you probably don't trust pharmaceutical companies. But then all these people trusted the government sponsored and pharmaceutical concoction injected directly into their freaking biological system. So
because we had like Chris Whitty, who looked like some sort of alien creature, and you had, was it Fauci, wasn't it? It was like your minister of propaganda, weren't he?
yeah, Fauci's a freak, man. He like tortures dogs and other weird shit, man. So
He also
yeah, they
is a
kind of.
fan
It's
of anal
funny.
sex.
It's a good observation. I try to. People don't talk about, it, but it's like people hated this guy, and people have forgot about him now. Like, you can kind of see how this psychological phenomenon works, and really, there's nothing stopping them from bringing this back later this year, which I think they're going to do.
Yeah, it's. I don't know whether the news cycle was the preparation for this, because like stuff gets shuffled in and out of the news cycle, doesn't it? And
then it comes back.
Yeah, or it just vanishes for good, like David Lammy's Jaffa Cake bill. Are you aware of who David Lammy is?
No, I'm not.
Oh,
he's our own President Obama.
Yeah, he's our own President Obama.
So what does he do? What's his deal?
He's like Labour, so he'll like perennially never be in power, which is quite a good thing. But he's it's funny, he's as British as me and Hob.
Is he like a conservative?
No, he's a Labour, which is like your what is it? Dem. He's like a Democrat. But yeah, he had in his expenses, he'd bought £2,000 worth of Jaffa cakes.
What the hell is that?
Hobbit, describe a Jaffa cake. You're our resident cook.
Jaffa cake is a delicious tax dodge, which is similar to the sachet-tor.
What's a Jaffa cake? Explain to me what Jaffa cake is.
It's a sponge cake with a layer of orange jelly and then dark chocolate on top of it, and it's absolutely delicious. And I've eaten all of my Jaffa cakes.
£2,000 worth.
No, I've probably gone for about £100 worth of Jaffa cakes last year.
But yeah, there were some funny moments with David. That one when he had the letters written, the quote unquote letters written to him, didn't he? Of it, dear Sambo Lamo.
Oh yeah, that was it. And then somebody noticed like the handwriting in these letters was a lot like David Lammy. One of them says, "You should be strung up by your big black hairy bollocks."
When are you get in a canoe and paddle back home? They were great, those letters were, weren't they?
So wasn't Boris Johnson chilling for all of the COVID stuff really hard, and most people kind of went along with it in the UK, right?
I don't know. He's been kind of. Although he brought the laws in, I always thought he was quite resistant to it. What about you, Hubbard?
So kind of what I'm getting at is like, could have this? I think I'm starting to think it's a real possibility. This was kind of a beta test, and the kind of results they got from it is they can not only like induce people to do stuff even when there's no real life evidence for an event, and then also they can basically wean people off of it and then make them forget like it ever happened, which is pretty dystopian if you think about it.
Well, the next time they might release a real disease, mightn't they?
Yeah, I think that's the
because they know they know who that now they know a lot of people will be like, this is a load of bollocks, so they could get away with like actually releasing the disease. Yeah.
Well, they did that interview with Bill and Melinda Gates when they were still together. And I still think their divorce was for alternative reasons, but he said that people didn't take the first pandemic seriously, but they will the second, and they like smirked and they looked at each other. So, I mean, you guys are reasonable and intelligent people, but a lot of people aren't. But obviously, it's no stretch of the imagination to see these evil freaks pulling off, the next real thing that actually is deadly.
Yeah, it's quite possible the next one could actually be deadly, because people are going to go, yeah, fuck you, whatever.
Not only that, they've released like billions of these fucking genetically modified mosquitoes in like Florida and Texas and other shit. It's crazy.
I mean, what's to stop them just putting like the disease in all the foods? Like all the bread and all the milk has now got disease.
Fucking hell, they don't even need to put a disease in the food, do they? The food's already fucked.
So there's this guy named Ken Caldera who is I don't think he worked for Harvard. He's basically the biggest geoengineer in the United States next to David Keith. And Ken Caldera worked for, I think, the Department of Defense. Long story short, he was tasked with discovering ways to kill enemy populations for the government without their knowledge. And they settled on one of the best methods would be to use geoengineering methods, like basically cloud seeding a pathogen and then having that rain down over an enemy population and then them dying without their knowledge. And so why that's interesting is this is all verifiable. Ken Caldera works for Bill Gates, and Bill Gates even calls Ken Caldera his amazing teacher. So there's a lot of like interesting dots like that can be connected, but most people don't care to, and don't think of anything of it. It was that interesting.
It is, but I wasn't paying attention. You still haven't shilled your podcast. I'm looking for it in Doodling.
Sure. Where do I put? I'm not super familiar with Discord.
Doodling Pad's just like our
text. Well, you've
notes
got
while you're
general
talking.
as well as Doodling Pad, and it general doesn't scroll as quickly as Doodling Pad. Doodling Pad's just wherever I post my memes.
Okay.
I'll call it
Yeah,
Doodling Pad, like, because it's like, you know, like the pad you have by your phone, where you note stuff
gotcha.
down. But you don't do that anymore because people don't have landlines anymore.
Yeah, I'll post one that Mike and I did, and then there's all sorts of shit on there. You can guys listen to whatever you want.
We'll have a look.
Cool.
Oh, there we go. So I'm going to copy and paste the link, and I'm going to put it into the chat, and you too can see it there, and you can follow along. And yeah, I'll stick that on my phone and give it a listen. And
So, what do you guys see the general future, the rest of the year going?
I, for one, predict it getting a lot more surreal. I mean, one of the things which has struck me about, like, is the world of simulation a lot, is I have never, not once, seen my neighbours bring in the shopping. And I'm looking at the road, and I'm, like, active during the hours of daylight. And never, not once, have I seen it. I've never even seen my neighbours in the supermarket. I see other people in the supermarket, but as far as I know, they're part of the simulation. I never even look at what they're buying as well.
So, when you say simulation,
What if
do you
you're
mean-
part? What if you're part of the simulation of it, and you're being programmed to think that?
Well, yeah, that's a good question. It's like, what is my role in this play? You know, with all the world's a stage and everyone plays his part in it. What part is I playing? But it just a lot of the world doesn't feel real anymore, and it's been getting increasingly surreal for the past 2 or 3 years.
So, I agree with that, but then what would you consider your neighbors to be then? Like a hologram or what?
I don't know.
Or like a clone?
Like just like sort of robots, really.
So, like, kind of like a clone or some sort of artificially engineered.
Yeah, because
human?
there was that thing about all the people that don't have internal monologue, wasn't there?
Yeah, no, it's a good theory actually that a lot of people are actually like clones or something else like that.
Didn't someone actually get together a load of tweets, you know, where people are going, oh, some people have voices in their head. That's weird.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, did you know some people are able to like see things in their head? Like, you've seen the diagram of an apple, like from 1 to 4, where like 1 is like a pretty good representation of an apple, and 5 is just like blank space. And there's people, a lot of them women, saying that I'm 5. What do you mean you can see an apple inside your head?
I mean, isn't that kind of? Couldn't you just describe that as imagination?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So there's a lot of people which, you know, they look like you and I, but really there's nothing going on in there.
Well, if they have no imagination, they can't really ever generate any kind of abstract or reasoning within themselves. So they really are just programmable matter, which is fucking crazy. But
You know, Benjamin Franklin, he said a quote, and I think he's right. He says, most men are dead at the age of 25, but they only get fitted into a coffin at 75.
yeah, that's actually pretty accurate.
It's a bit
But
bleak,
this
isn't
is not a new phenomenon.
No. And actually, I'm glad you brought that up because you look at writers like Mark Twain and a lot of other brilliant thinkers, you know, from the past, Plato, whoever, and they all lamented about the state of the masses and how incompetent and unwilling they are to like learn.
Yeah, but the thing is, though, this planet would be a nightmare if you didn't have those people about. You need a certain amount of those people, though, don't you?
I mean, somebody's got to do the bins.
Yeah. And enjoy it.
Yeah, because I mean, technically I could do the bins, but I
I
don't
don't know if
want
you'd
to.
enjoy it.
Of all the lorry driving jobs I could do, being a binman is one of the hardest to do because you're driving a big wide vehicle down narrow streets filled with cars, and kids are going to school at that time as well. It's you got to be someone who is like dead good at what they're doing to do it. That's not a job for a new driver who may or may not have clipped a few cars whilst driving a lorry. You can't prove it.
So then, what do you think? What are the kind of surreal things you think might happen?
Well, I just
I
like,
think Soylent Green's on the way. It just
I
seems
agree.
to be that every dystopic fiction ever wasn't a warning; it was a blueprint.
Well, what's interesting is my friend told me that actually even Orwell, I forgot if he said that he was like part of a CIA family or whatever, but even, at least if that's true, then Orwell was kind of predictive programming too. It wasn't like a warning. It was actually more predictive programming.
Mm.
And actually, Soylent Green, that took place in 2022. I don't know. You guys probably knew that, but
I think you know when people say what the collapse. Have you seen Soylent Green?
no, I know the plot though.
Oh right,
From those
because it's kind of like the where the people like Charlton Heston and his Jewish mate. They do really well because they've got like a 1-bedroom flat that they share together, whereas everyone else is like living on the stairs. So it's kind of it's more how I imagine the collapse is going to be. It's going to be one very very long slide.
Huh.
Oh, here's a fun thing. I'll put it in doodling pads. You're talking about Soylent Green. Imagine if there was robots that could work on biofuel. So there's an image there, and just
Does it look like a Karen? Does it?
it's basically just a robot eating human corpses. For
Oh
fuel.
okay. Oh shit! Didn't they invent one of those? Or am I thinking?
Yeah, it was a British robotics firm working for the MOD, and they decided to call the robot Tyrannus.
Oh, I'm gonna post some weird shit, and oh, cool. Yeah, I'm gonna post some weird shit that I saw recently too. This is sorry, 1 second. Gotta find your doodle thing. This is like a robot that's controlled with like the neurons of rats or something. It's some fucking
Pickle
crazy
Rick.
dystopian shit.
Pickle Rick, is it?
It's Pickle Rick.
Yeah, Pickle Rick is real.
Yeah.
And then, did you guys hear about that Canadian guy who's like the Jeffrey Epstein of Canada?
What? Complete Jeffrey Epstein or just the AI?
So this guy is like supposedly the Canadian Jeffrey Epstein. I just put in there. I forget his name, but he would like impregnate his girlfriends and then have them get abortions, so he could use the stem cells from the abortions for
Oh,
himself.
Jesus Christ.
So like real life Al Gore, man, bear, pig shit, So yeah, I think this is what we're entering into, obviously, and like I think a lot of people are going to go along with this shit, and it's just going to get really weird and violent, and you know what I mean? It's just going to get it's going to breed all sorts of fucked up situations.
Well, I think
the return of Jesus Christ, our Lord and Savior.
their basic plan is to wedge us in the cities, isn't it? So they can have the countryside to themselves, isn't it?
Yeah, they want to put everyone in smart cities and have them integrated with all sorts of literal, tracking technology inside their biological systems. So that's the goal. And Klaus Schwab said that shit. So he's just
You'll
a
rent
mouthpiece
everything
for-
and enjoy it, won't you? Like
Yeah,
I read a thing where they were talking about literally, you want to make a cake in this glorious future. Well, just go and rent all the stuff to make a cake, and then buy the ingredients.
like rent an oven.
Yeah.
Wow. So they're talking about renting appliances now.
Yeah, they're talking about literally like you'll rent your cake mixer and stuff, all
So
that
what
kind of
does
stuff.
fucking Home Depot come by and just they drop off the
Yeah,
the fucking oven and they pick it up at the end of the day?
I don't know about oven. I suppose the flat will have an oven in it, but more like.
thing is
But
that
they were
how-
literally talking I think they were talking about right the way down to spoons and shit. I don't know if that's how far they actually meant.
How's that going to work though? Because I mean, Blockbuster trying to do this thing, and like people that used to rent like games there, it's like, oh, you were supposed to return the game after 1 week. Yeah, I'm just going to hold on to it. What?
Well, it
You
will work
Yeah,
when they have.
yeah, but that'll be different. When you went Blockbuster, you had to pay cash. You know, this will be coming out of your government sponsored
Yeah.
Bitcoin, won't it?
Yeah, that you have on your person.
You'll just have everything as a service. Yeah.
Yeah, because they'll already be on you, like because it'll be physically on a chip or something like that on inside you. Not us, but most people. So if they don't return it, they'll just get penalized.
Yeah,
So
you'll
they'll
just
be
get
forced to.
charged for it.
Yeah, your credit score will go down and all that shit.
Yeah.
Gay baboon terrorizes villagers in South Africa, rapes 5 men.
Oh, I saw that one the other day.
A baboon.
Men at a village in the northwest are leaving in fear over a big male baboon that likes to grope and bonk human males. The baboon is said to have attacked more than 6 men. It cuts off the rest of the story. Performed sexual acts on top of the terrified
Can you find the
victim
pigeon
and leave.
version, Hobbit? That'd be much better.
Hmm?
Have you read BBC Pigeon? Clint?
Let me have a look at the pigeon verse. See if I
Wait,
can
hold on. I
find
want to
it.
find this story. What is it? Where did this happen? Baboon.
Put it in.
Baboon
Hobbit.
terrorizes villages in South Africa, rapes 5 men. I'm going to type that into a search engine. Let's see.
Did it gate?
Gay
Snopes.
baboon
The first
baboon
result is Snopes.
terrorizes villagers,
Can you check Snopes for that one?
5 men.
The first result is Snopes.
Well, in that case, fuck Snopes. I found it in Zimbabwe today.
Did you listen to the Hillary Clinton episodes we did, Clint?
I have them saved. I heard part of them. I gotta listen to the whole thing.
Yeah. We went through the Snopes article. They just like got bored in the end and just said, yeah, this is true. They just lost the will to live, didn't they, Hobbit?
Holy shit!
It's like when your bullshit is so obvious, even Snopes can't be bothered to debunk it.
So what did they say was true? Did they admit Hillary Clinton probably did kill people?
No, they just like said, yeah, this bloke died. Yeah, this bloke died of this and that. And then he just said like, well, if you know people, you know a lot of them die in plane accidents and murders and shit
The
like
back
that.
of the head.
Yeah,
You know, failing cars and planes.
Oh yeah, I did remember some of that where like all these different. You guys were making fun of how all these people were dying in small planes and.
What about the one that made me laugh? That one that was. It must have been belching out all kinds of shit because it had like a cracked engine block or something in the plane did.
Oh god, that was it as well. It's just like, yeah, there was this one guy. They were like they rented a plane and the plane just like all these things which are obviously wrong. It was not airworthy and yet somehow they decided to fly it. It was bullshit, absolute bullshit.
Yeah. Snopes says the gay baboon is false, but who knows?
Pigeon aren't carrying the gay baboon story then, Hobbit.
I don't know. I just found it in Zimbabwe today. The baboon is said to have attacked more than 6 men in the past week, and what's baffling the villagers is the fact the baboon...
Does the baboon have AIDS now?
That baboon only attacks guys. They had it before. And does not hurt its victims, but rather performs sexual acts on top of the terrified victim and leaves. One victim, George Chiune, said he was coming from the local shebeen. No idea what a shebeen is. Maybe it's a shebeen.
Oy vey. It sounds like the sort of thing you come out saying oy vey.
Oh, he was coming into the local sheboon when the baboon attacked him and pinned him down. I thought it wanted to kill me, but I realized it was after my bum, George said. 5 men were admitted to hospital yesterday after experiencing acute anal pains and fatigue. Doctors confirmed the men had anal cancer.
Oh, God.
The baboon, which has been nicknamed Sumizi, which I assume is Ooga Booga for sodomize, travels alone, and this, according to animal behaviour specialists, is a strange occurrence because baboons are known to ravel in troops.
This sounds like blacks lying about their degenerate behavior.
One specialist, Lizzie McKenzie, said, the baboon might be an outcast and chased away from its. Yeah,
This sounds like penis theft all over again.
We all
Hobbit.
wandered in the forest and we all got butt cancer.
This is why it's
This is
traveling
why we
around.
were gone all night. We were being chased by a big baboon who will rape us.
Yes. So the reason it's only attacking males, it beats me. I've never seen the behavior in my 20 years in this field, she said. When journalists visited the village, all male school kids were said to be wearing dresses as a preventative measure until the baboon has been dealt with.
What the fuck?
Voodoo. This is African voodoo TMB.
This is penis theft. This is, mate.
Oh, this is more penis theft stories.
What's that? I don't know if I've heard that before.
You don't know about penis theft in Africa?
I'm sorry.
Oh shit! You're missing some keno
6
there.
minutes to red pill you on African penis theft.
Just give me
What happens? What happens is an African gentleman will meet another African gentleman, but he doesn't realise the other African gentleman's a wizard. So what the wizard does is he shakes the man's hand, and the man's penis disappears.
What?
Precisely that. Penis theft. Yeah. So what they do? The man who's been shaky hands, they usually catch him and beat the shit out of him and kill him.
So what's actually going on in this situation?
Oh, fuck knows. I've got no idea. Hobbit, do you have a theory on what's actually going on?
This is from 2008. Police in Congo have arrested 13 suspected sorcerers. What the fuck? Using black magic to steal or shrink men's penises. Oh my god, this is so stupid.
So, did you know
really
niggas be gay?
Yeah.
And because of this, what they like to do is measure their willies. And then when one of them's got a small willy and the others are making fun of them, saying, you've got a small willy, no one loves you. And it's like, the witch doctor stole my pee-pee. Let me go kill the doctor and get my pee-pee back.
That's it. That's literally what it is.
Give my big pee-pee back.
Doctor stole my pee-pee. I want my pee-pee back. Look at me. I have the big pee-pee now.
It makes me laugh when they have like the shit-lib British doctors go over and try and treat them, and they won't go anywhere near because they think they're gonna. Why do they think the white doctors are gonna kill them, don't they, or something?
He's gonna do white devil magic and suck the soul out through the penis.
Yeah.
Oh god.
Or maybe they'll cast a curse on them so a gay baboon rapes them and gives them anal cancer.
We did a whole episode on like African myths on with 14, didn't we? Do you remember that one, Hobbit?
It's truly a 4TN subject. The strange case of sorcery that still goes on in black magic going on in Africa.
Yeah.
If it wasn't so dangerous, it would be kind of funny to just like see some of this shit in real life, you know?
Yeah.
See them like investigate a sorcerer, you know? Like all these Congo policemen like,
someone needs to do
people.
Someone needs to do a sketch like the black Inspector Poirot trying to get to the bottom of it.
Yeah. Like
Black Sherlock Holmes investigates.
Congolese investigator.
Mr. Sherlock Holmes, I have lost my pee-pee. Where is my pee-pee?
Oh no, there's I think they're called the TikTok bunch or something. It was like these African detective women. They would drink Red Bush tea.
Yeah.
TikTok detective agency. Let me see if I can find it.
What else? Oh, the Bobo phone. We found out what a Bobo phone is, didn't we, Hobbit?
Yes.
What?
Throw in a link to BBC Pigeon so he knows what we're on about.
Yeah, I'll have to link you to that bit. But first of all, you need to know there's this thing called Pigeon, and there was a term I was unfamiliar with called Bobo, and it means your girlfriend. So there's this idea of the Bobo phone, which if you've got a bit on the side and you don't want your missus to find out that you're cheating on her, you have a phone just for your bubble, so that's your bubble phone.
You have your bubble phone.
Bubble phone. Let me get you the bbc.co.uk /
I'm sure this is like a pretty common thing for the colored folks.
Domot,
Yeah.
Oden top toli in go weg domot ugabuga.
Yeah, so the BBC, because it's not racist at all, has done a whole website called BBC Pidgin. So you know, like the broken English that Africans speak.
Yes.
It's called Pidgin English. So what the BBC done is, because they're totally not racist, they've done a whole website that's in. So basically, the way Pidgin English is spelt, they write in that style.
I think I've seen that before. That's
On the
funny.
website, on the website, they have the BBC Pidgin Minute, so you can listen to actual Africans talking in Pidgin. We've got a minute to go. I'm going to read you a top story for today.
Yeah.
Elon Musk Twitter. People they likely to come out the social media platform as the billionaire by am. Plenty questions now in the minds of Twitter users all over the world as news breakouts say Elon Musk don't buy Twitter. Elon Musk strike one deal day to buy Twitter with a promise to reduce censorship on the platform. This don't raise questions about what him approach go mean for the digital town square. Human rights groups don't be raised concerns say the lack of modulation fit literalize in hate speech. Many Twitter users they also ask whether this fit means say accounts where the company been suspend go they allow back. The most high profile PCN where they been suspend him account now Donald Trump. But even if them reverse him Twitter ban, Oga Trump say they plan to return to Twitter. Instead, he go use his own platform, Truth Social. I know they'll get back up. Hang on, can I do Donald Trump Pigeon? Donald Trump.
Do it. Do it.
It's gonna be huge. It's gonna be huge. I bet.
It's gonna be great. I know they go back on Twitter. I go remain for truth. Trump tell Fox News. Trump as he say he believe Musk. Where he call he a good man. Go make improvements to the platform. People they likely to leave Twitter? Question mark. Elon Musk talks day hope say him strongest critics go remain on the platform because that now waiting free speech mean. However, some users don't threaten to leave Twitter, while others don't already quit. British actor Jamila Jamil, where they best known for her on TV series The Good Place, talk say they expect the platform. I'm getting brain cancer reading this.
Yeah.
To become more lawless, hateful, xenophobic, bigoted, misogynistic space. I go like this to be my last tweet. Miss Jamil tell her 1 million followers. Meanwhile, Caroline Bueno, where the postdoctoral researcher for the University of Maryland, talk say now she goes stay on the platform where she get more than 450,000 followers. Miss Bueno say, we didn't know any idea waiting to go back like under Musk leadership, taco bueno, por favor. Waiting,
Was she Hispanic? Am I right in guessing?
With a name like Bueno. If all the decent people leave, it go bad a lot faster. Cerveza, por favor. Dan Ives, we be the analyst for investment firm Wedbush Securities, tell BBC say they expect most users to take a wait-and-see approach. Now about courting new users and stopping defectors from the platform. Eve Stock.
Oh, my favourite tweet about this today. I saw one earlier, and someone said, "Here's a quote from an Elon Musk board meeting. It's open season on LGBTQIA and trannies now."
Lizard, I'll have to make some Ooga Booga music for this. You're right. I need some Ooga Booga backing music for this.
Yeah.
On Monday, hang on. Indie Pigeon voice. On Monday, White House spokesperson Jim Psaki told reporters say U.S. President Joe Biden they concerned for a long time about the power of large social media platforms, regardless of whoever own or run Twitter. Democrat Senator Elizabeth Warren talks they say dangerous for our democracy, while pushing for one world tax and strong rules to hold big tech accountable.
And they say Jar Jar Binks was racist.
Meanwhile, Republican Senator Marsha Blackburn welcomed the agreement as an encouraging day for freedom of speech. People know we're waiting day ahead. The 11-member board of Twitter altogether agree Elon Musk $44 billion Zimbabwe dollar offered to buy the social media platform.
44
Jack
million.
Doss-
The Zimbabwe dollar's worth more than the regular dollar.
No, I'm just like pigeon. I'm trying to pigeon it up.
Oh right, okay then.
So
Well,
Jack
basically, you've got
Doss-
to. It'd be like.
That's worth about 10.
It'd be like $4 to the power of 20,
Yeah.
wouldn't it? Or something.
Jack Dorsey, the co-founder Twitter, and still sit on the debate. Talk ise ide happy same platform go continue to serve the public conversation. Ooga booga. Even though you don't believe anyone's supposed to own or run Twitter. E1 be a good public good protocol level, not a company. Mr. Dorsey, talk
You're
on
struggling a
Tuesday.
bit there, aren't you? A bit.
The brain cancer is going to get
He's strong in this one.
Solving the problem of being company over Elon na the singular solution I trust, Dorsey said. I trust in mission to extend the light of consciousness. Twitter chief executive Parag Aggarwal also don't address employees during one meeting where he talks say the future of the company they uncertain, according to the Reuters news agency.
Well, it was kind of. Weren't Twitter like fucked anyway?
Once the deal closed, we don't know which direction the platform go, Olga Aggarwal reportedly talk.
Are you doing like a Jar Jar Binks voice?
It literally is Jar Jar Binks.
Yeah.
Once the deal closed, we don't know which direction the platform go, Olga Aggarwal reportedly talk. And that's the story.
Mm.
We've done 2 hours now.
Yeah, I know. I'm just gonna.
Do you sell your stuff for which indeed cause premature ejaculation and low sperm count for men? That's an interesting pigeon story.
Actually, I'll get all that ready. So then next time I do this, we're just ready for the big boss battle.
And yeah, causes of premature ejaculation: penis thieves, gay baboons, use of recreational drugs, Zimbabwean dollars.
Well, that concludes our broadcast for this evening. Hold on a sec.
Yeah,
I think we've done enough.
Professor Aslo say